Hi friends, it's Brandon. I am back. This week I have a unique video planned. We're going to be talking to some folks from around the world about their experiences with travel. So I wanted to talk to some of my friends who live around the world about travel and about their experiences with it. A couple weeks ago was World Peace Day, International World Peace Day, and it certainly hasn't felt peaceful here at home in the United States. But I did a live stream for for like a little network, an online network that I was a part of for World Peace Day, and it got me thinking about travel and peace and how travel, international travel, can help create world peace. I know it sounds like a stretch, but it's something I've been thinking about a lot the last week or so. So I wanted to call up some friends from overseas and talk to them a little bit about their perspectives on travel and world peace. Before we get into the video, this week's video is brought to you with some help from the lovely folks at CityPass. They have some great online discounts you can use for different attractions and museums, events, and things like that. I'll talk a little bit more about them later. But first, let's make a couple of phone calls.
My name is David Faria Oliveira. I am 27 years old and I am from Goiânia, Brazil.
I am Dikki Martinez. I'm 28 years old and I am from Manila, Philippines.
Can you tell me about the first time you traveled?
Oh my gosh, you better be careful. No, no. So the first time I traveled outside of the country that I was born in was at a very early age of 8. My parents and I immigrated to the United States. So that was a really big experience. Culture shock at for a child definitely is real. It was very interesting just to be plucked out of where I was born and everything that I knew and step into this world where I didn't speak the language, I didn't understand what was going on, everything looked so different, but it really gave me the ability to just see at a very young age that the world is so vast and there are so many different people and different cultures. And so it was really exciting for me at that age to just see a whole different world because even when I was growing up, I thought that going to another country meant that you got on this airplane, you would go out to outer space, and it was like a whole different planet. So really, that was the first time that I took a trip that really showed me just how big our world is.
I've been traveling for quite a long time now, and I think traveling can create world peace by just, being able to understand different cultures you know, and realizing that there's not much difference between whether you live in Asia, in Europe, South America, North America, any corner of the world. You know, it's just a matter of understanding each other. We all have a lot of things in common. Granted that our cultures are different from each other, but it all came from one, you know, a seed, for example, and we just branched out. And like I said, we all just want one thing. We just want to get along with each other, understand each other, and in the end, I could probably, help us create world peace because of traveling, because of understanding each other.
So, David, here's a hard question. The hard question. What does peace mean to you?
Um, I think over the last 6 months and throughout my lifetime, I've learned that peace has a lot of different definitions, right? Lately, I've learned that there's inner peace and peace within yourself and being at peace with everything that you are and all that you are, all of you experienced, and really being at peace with um, all the experiences that make you who you are. I think that's very important, and that's something that I've tried to capture for myself. Um, and that's really like having that peace. But also, I think peace, when we look on the outside, it can look very different too. I think there is peace that you can see within your own life, and the interactions that you have, the places that you go to. But I think what's really important is for us to be aware and acknowledge that that is a bubble, right? And just because there's peace within our bubble, there isn't peace in the world, right? So just because you're in this bubble and it is okay and it's great and everything is comfortable, you really have to just take yourself out of that and just get this world view. And that's when you can look around and you look and you say, wow, this is not what I thought it was. This is not how the world is. So I think it's very important for us to acknowledge that our experiences sometimes are very unique to who we are, where we're from, our race, and all of the experiences that we have as who we are. But really just open up your eyes and see that peace really means that the world is okay and the world is in harmony. And that is, a very, very large and difficult goal to get to. But I think as long as we're all doing our part, that is all that we can hope for. So I think that means taking ourselves out of our comfort zones, seeing the uncomfortable. It is okay to be uncomfortable and it's okay to not know. But what it's not okay to do, and I feel like, is to ignore it and pretend that there is peace there. So I think my definition of what I see as peace is it's working. It is constantly changing. It is ideally for me, it's everyone doing their part and everything they can to bring the world together, to make this a safe place and a diverse place and an inclusive space for everyone. I think that's the biggest thing. And then I think once the world is there and we're all being treated fairly and we're all doing our best to be our best person, I think at that moment is when we'll really achieve peace. So I think it's really just taking the different definitions that peace has for you and acknowledging that you can make a really big impact, not only in your personal bubble, but in the entire world by doing your part, educating yourself, and really making a difference where you are.
So I want to take a little segue and talk about flying. So for me, the first time I flew, like on an airplane at all, it was scary, but it was like a liberating experience. It was fast and loud, and I was afraid we were going to crash the whole time. But I thought it would be really liberating. Like, it was really interesting to realize how connected the world can be. What was your first time like flying on an airplane?
So I first traveled when I was 12, and it was coming from Manila to Hong Kong. That was the first time I traveled. And I was really excited because that was the first time I get to go outside of my country. I would just travel around, just like city to city within the Philippines. But like being the first time going out of the country, there was kind of like a mixed emotions there, because I was excited, I was scared because it was my first time riding an airplane and I didn't know what to expect, but when I got on a plane, having never being inside and experiencing that speed getting off the ground, so that was really scary at first, but then once we started cruising on a cruising altitude, it was fine. It was a short flight, but it was really exciting, and I was like looking at the window, just like checking out the clouds, like seeing how high we were. It was like exhilarating.
This week I want to say thank you to the great folks at CityPass. CityPass is an online resource that lets you find great discounts and deals on local attractions, museums, events, all sorts of great local stuff you can do in your city. They're all over the country. They've got deals on theme park tickets, different event tickets, all sorts of discounts you can find. Since I'm stuck here in the Florida area, I was looking around at some of the theme parks, Tampa Bay theme parks, Orlando theme parks, to see what I could find. And I can save like 50% by using CityPass to get some of these tickets. They offer great deals, great bundles, and awesome discounts on top attractions like Busch Gardens, among other things. So if you want to support the folks at CityPass and support this channel, you can visit thebrandonscott.com/go/CityPass. It's a lot. thebrandonscott.com/go/CityPass. I'll leave a link in the description. Give that link and click and see what discounts you can find in your area. So Mr. Dikki, can you tell me a little bit about the experience of meeting someone from like a different culture than you? What was that like?
Okay, the first time that I actually met someone that is like different from what I'm used to was still in Hong Kong, 2003. Since I'm Filipino and I only speak Filipino and English, and they do speak English as well, but like most of them speak Chinese. Can't remember exactly what kind of Chinese they were speaking, but just walking around in Hong Kong and just like, window shopping, and then there's a lot of them just like, offering you things in their language because like I kind of blend in. So I'm like, I don't really know what you're saying. I'm pretty sure that you're trying to sell me something, like any of your souvenir products, but like I don't really know how to respond to you. And also like even in restaurants where like you sit down and then they just like give you a menu and it's not even in English, and you're like, can we get the English menu, because like we can't understand any of these characters. But it's definitely an experience. Like eventually you get used to it after a couple of days of being there, and yeah, like somehow you adjust.
So this ties back into my immigrant experience perfectly. So when I came as a child, and I think when you're a child, you are blessed in the way that some children, I wouldn't say all, you don't really have to worry about a lot, right? So as you're a kid, my parents would often like joke around as we're growing up. It's like, oh, all you have to do is go to school and get good grades. Like that is your job, right? But I think what's interesting is that when you're a kid and you come into this space, and honestly, like I didn't know anyone. And my first day at school, I think that was a big impact, that had a huge impact on me, was because I came into class, no one spoke Portuguese, which is my first language. People spoke Spanish, which was close enough. So I got to communicate with people like by, I learned a lot of Spanish because of that. But when you're a kid, you just realize that the things you have in common is you love to play, right? Kids love to play. And that is something that I think in school I really used to bond with these children, was that, you love to color, I love to color. Doesn't matter where we're from, right? So I think that was one moment in my life where I was really like, these people are different, but these are the ways that we can connect, because there is like that human experience. I think there are universal experiences that we all like to do and that we all want. So fun is one of them. And when you're a kid, it's so easy, like you make friends like with the snap of a finger. It's just, hey, you want to play? Okay, let's go. So that was really fun. But I think growing up, and I would say because I joined the ice show at 19, it was very different going from the world that I lived in for a long time, which was just, in the San Francisco Bay Area, skating on my ice rink, high school, all of these things, to leaving home, which was a completely different experience. And then meeting people, right? Meeting these new people that I had never heard before. I'd never seen them. I had a roommate, which was very new to me. I didn't know like what a roommate was really, So having that experience, but then also being tied to the common experience that we're all here part of this production. So there we already had something, in common. And then to break that even down a little bit more, was that meeting new skaters, which was very intimidating because I didn't necessarily feel that I belonged, that I didn't feel that I was at the level that they were. So I felt a little bit beneath them. But then we all had this common factor. We were all ice skaters in the ice show, and this is our job, So really, like at the same time that we were so different and felt so different from all of these people, you're really able to break it down and you just notice that you're not that different. You're all having this similar experience. Granted, your life is different and your thoughts and obviously your cultural experience and all of these things, but you can always find these common factors that really bring people together. And that's what I did, and that's how I felt throughout different parts of my life, that I was able to tap into that, really make some really strong connections with a lot of people that I'm extremely grateful for now.
Okay, thank you so much for letting me blast you all over my YouTube channel. Love you. Bye. So now we have to sum this all up. Well, I don't know how to sum all this up. I don't know if I can. Um, I don't know that there's a pretty bow to be tied around all of this. I originally talked to both David and Dikki for World Peace Day, but after participating in the live stream, it just felt like peace wasn't achievable. It just felt like such a far cry from reality right now. Like looking at the state of the pandemic, the current affairs here at home in the U.S., it's easy to get sad. Most days I just want to scream. But instead, I sigh loudly, I pick up my head, and I keep going because I just have to get through one more day. And I think that's all we can do is go through each day trying to make the environments that we go into peaceful, trying to keep our relationships and our friendships peaceful, try to create kindness and create peace, I think, in our daily lives. That's all we can do. It's just one day at a time and bring that peace with us into new friendships and relationships and other challenges. So I guess, I don't know. Do you think world peace is achievable? I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think. Yeah, and if you're new here, hit that big red subscribe button. And I'll see you very soon. Okay, love you. Bye.